Full House is remembered as one of the most heartwarming family sitcoms of the 1990s. For 8 seasons, audiences followed the ups and downs of the Tanner family as they navigated grief, parenthood, growing pains, and endless hugs in their San Francisco home. The cast had genuine chemistry, and the show built a legacy of wholesome humor and life lessons. But while Full House ended on a sentimental note, many longtime fans agree, the finale wasn't the send-off this beloved series deserved. Instead of concluding with grace, Full House limped toward its series finale in Season 8 with an amnesia storyline that felt more like a desperate attempt to tug at heartstrings than a genuine narrative resolution. Ironically, the show's most logical and emotionally satisfying conclusion came not in its last season, but in Season 6. Season 6 had the perfect ending, and ABC should have taken the hint. Season 6 of Full House saw every major character at a strong, natural turning point. DJ had just returned from Spain, in love with Steve. Jesse's band was taking off internationally. Michelle was celebrating her preschool graduation. And in a major step for Danny, he proposed to his co-host Vicky during a memorable family trip to Disney World. The entire family seemed to be moving forward, maturing, and finding closure. Every character had reached a place where their story could believably end, with growth, promise, and a bit of fairy tale flair. But instead of saying goodbye at the perfect moment, Full House continued for 2 more seasons. The reason? Ratings. Seasons 5 and 6 had pulled the show into Nielsen's top 10, and ABC wasn't ready to part with a hit. Yet, creatively, Full House had already hit its peak. The later seasons struggled to justify themselves. By Season 7 and 8, the dynamic of the show had noticeably shifted. The kids were older, the once novel household setup was starting to feel implausible, and the writing increasingly leaned into one character, Michelle, as the emotional anchor. While some episodes introduced memorable side characters, like Gia and Viper, others felt like filler. Jesse and Joey still lived in the house despite Jesse having a wife and 2 kids. DJ was preparing for college, Stephanie was starting high school, and Michelle had long outgrown the adorable toddler phase that initially made her such a scene stealer. Episodes like Super Bowl Fun Day and Under the Influence proved the show could still deliver laughs and relevant lessons, but by that point, the series had become more about moments than momentum. The structure was fraying, and the show was trying too hard to hold itself together. Michelle's amnesia was not the farewell fans deserved. The 2-part finale, Michelle Rides Again, was an underwhelming conclusion for a show with such a devoted fan base. Michelle falling off a horse and developing temporary amnesia didn't offer closure, so much as nostalgia bait. The plot revolved around replaying old Michelle moments and sidelined nearly every other character. DJ's prom subplot had already been done and done better in Season 6 with Steve. Jesse and Joey's decision to cancel their own show went nowhere. Rebecca, Stephanie, Danny, and the twins barely had a storyline. In the end, Full House tried to wrap up with a sentimental bow, but missed the emotional payoff. What's more, Michelle had become somewhat difficult to root for in the later seasons. Her sharp-tongued quips, once cute, had started to feel mean-spirited. In the finale, she mocked Stephanie in front of her crush in a way that felt out of step with the show's typically kind-hearted tone. Why the show might have ended abruptly, anyway. Outside of the story itself, real-world circumstances may have contributed to the rushed finale. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were already breaking out as child stars in Hollywood, landing roles in movies like It Takes Two. It's plausible that ABC, seeing their inevitable exit, decided to close shop, just without crafting a proper ending. The fact that the twins never returned for Fuller House says a lot about how far they'd moved past the role. A better ending was always in reach. Imagine Full House ending with a family at Disney World, Danny proposing, the girls entering new stages of life, and Jesse and Becky building their own home with their twins. It would have honored the show's heart, its growth, and the fans who followed the Tanners for 6 wonderful years. Instead, the series chose to stretch its run and deliver an ending that, while technically complete, left a lot emotionally unresolved. The show's impact remains undeniable, and Fuller House gave fans a nostalgic return years later. But for those who watched it live in the 90s, there's still the lingering thought: Full House had the perfect ending in its hands and let it ride off into the sunset without ever using it.